What is going on, guys? It's your boy icjosh. This week's episode of Dragon Ball Super, basically the gist of this episode was Krillin being able to actually control his ki and control his mindset, because we know how Krillin is whenever things get to where it looks like it's too overwhelming. He basically, starts, losing his mind, thinking about the worst, how he's gonna die and all this stuff. And so basically it was him being able to get that sense back to him and actually learn how to, just control all that stuff and don't let his emotions run over him. Goku basically, he figured it out way before Krillin did, but Krillin was holding on the past too much. That's why we see a lot of these characters that basically beat him, like Tambourine, where he killed him and stuff. So basically, he had to get over that and stop holding on to the past and all the past enemies that there were. That way he can actually look to the future and be able to try to overcome the future, to say if there's a new enemy that does come that poses a threat to him. So it was actually really nice to see that. I did like the character growth from Krillin, or Krillin, whichever one you want to say. So I did actually like that. There's a lot of comedy aspects in this episode as well. So like I said, it was really fun to watch. I will say that the one thing that I actually have to say about this was the preview. Now the preview is kind of got me a little bit, and there's a couple things I actually want to say. We see that the reason why Vegeta hasn't been on screen is because, well, Bulma's pregnant. And it's because we see that Goku says, well, is it like you don't want to come with me to go see Zenos, both Zenos, because, of Bulma's belly. And so we see that Bulma is pregnant. So is she pregnant with Bra? They're going to go down that same way where it's actually going to be Bra. And if they do, then they kind of switched it already up, because I think Bra was older than Pan was, if I'm thinking. In GT, she was older than Pan, so they've already switched that up, unless they're going to make it a new name or anything like that. But as far as I'm going to say, it's probably going to be Bra. That's what I'm going to say. But other than that, I will say that this is a good time to kind of go through this and kind of do a lot of other character developments, because one thing that really sticks out to me, and also sticks out to a lot of you guys that do commented, is Goten and Trunks, because Goten and Trunks are in their teenage years now, and we see that Trunks is all over Mai. So I mean, he's obviously having those hormones and all that stuff all over there, because every time he sees her, he blushes and all that stuff. Even when Big Mai, when he seen her, I think he was all blushing and all that stuff and everything. So I mean, it's like he has those feelings. And we see that Goten, from the previous episode, whenever Goku and Gohan were sparring, Chi-Chi said something about his outfit. It was a Great Saiyaman outfit. He was kind of, it's kind of lame and all that stuff. It was only good for the movie. He should probably stop dressing like that or something like that. And she was kind of like, oh, so, my little Gohan, my little Goten is maturing and growing up. So I mean, it's just like he's already getting that mindset of growing up and getting out of those like kiddie things. So it's kind of like the only thing left for them to do, and it really grinds my gears right now, is because they are, in their teen years. So they should stop looking like fucking kids and grow them up. And I'm hoping, and I'm really hoping and praying that at some point this whole time gap that they kind of had for not having Trunks on screen or having Bulma on screen. Obviously, it looks like Bulma with her belly. She looks like she's a good couple months pregnant, maybe 3, 4, maybe even 5 months pregnant. I don't know. They'll probably tell us next week. But hopefully, Trunks has grew up a little bit. Hopefully, and when I mean grow, I mean his body. He's went through puberty now. I mean he's fucking tall or something. At least a bit taller or something. He looks more of a teenager than a kid. So that's what I'm really hoping happens, and I hope they do the same thing for Goten, because even though Trunks is a little bit older than Goten, so it'd be okay if they had, Trunks, go up in height and stuff before Goten, and Goten follow him right after. I'm really hoping with this baby coming in the mix, and that this time frame that they have, they can actually grow them up before. That way, they can say, hey, they're out of their, kid-looking stages, they're teenagers now. And we can actually have, the babies, be the babies, and then grow them up as kids while they're not still looking like, kids themselves. So that's one thing that I really, really like. And I like the fact that they're going to do that. Hopefully, like I said before, I hope they do change the way that they're going to do Bra, and hopefully, and Pan, by the way, because I really don't want Pan to go into the GT route. And one thing I kind of want to leave off on this episode is it's funny because I always look from as a Dokkan Battle player, I always look at Dragon Ball Super because they take from Dragon Ball Super and put it into Dokkan Battle. I always look at things that actually happen, especially characters, and I look at stuff. So with this episode, I feel like there might be a new Krillin that does come into the mix on Dokkan Battle. Not anytime soon, because I think JP right now has got their Super Saiyan, their 2-year anniversary, and I think Super Saiyan 4 might be around the corner, or if it's not out now or something in a banner. But they might be having that and all this stuff go through, which JP's getting a lot of things. I'll probably cover that later on today. But them having that Krillin might be either Baba shopped or maybe Dokkan Awakening a different Krillin that was out. I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. But that's what I'm going with at that. Now, if you guys enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Smack the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. I think we hit over 2,300 subscribers. Like, I think we're a little bit over 2,300 subscribers. I think last time I checked, we were at like 2,345. So that's lit, guys. That is absolutely freaking lit. I'll say that right now. We on the come up. 2017 might be our damn year. It just might be our year. But if you enjoyed the video, smack a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. Comment down below what your favorite part of this week's episode is. If you think that if you do think Goten and Trunks need to actually grow up, comment that below as well and talk about that Krillin. You think Krillin's gonna be coming to Dokkan Battle in the new Dokkan as well. But I'm out, guys. Peace. The way I would see it is they would actually do Goku and Vegeta, and possibly and maybe do him on another banner, and then have them come back on that banner too.